Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, we're glad to have you back in here with us tonight. I know we've been gone for a while. Chad's just trying to get used back to the camera and lights over there. Look who is in the house with him tonight.
Look at here.
Chad, introduce us to your sidekick right there.
This is Mia. This is my partner right here now.
And she loves lollipops and suckers, don't she?
She does. Tell him SmackDown.
Yeah.
Give him a smack.
As y'all coming into the chat tonight, I know it's been a while. We're going to try to give everybody a little bit of time to get back in here. If you would, share this right here. Tag a couple of friends. We have Joey Middleton with us tonight, and we're going to get on talk a little bit about some tournaments and the things that he's doing. Hey, we got Greg Mays in the house. Joey, did you know Greg?
I know Greg. Yes, sir. Got the prettiest beard in catfishing.
What's up, Greg? We got Tackle 20. Hey, look right there. Tackle 22's in the house tonight. Jason Moses. Hey, guys, we're glad to have y'all back here. And I'm going to just give y'all a little rundown before we get started because I started back teaching trade school. I teach at a technical college, and I started back doing that in 1st of August. And I have really, between it and trying to keep rod holders going and keeping up with all the orders, it's just really had me really busy. So I apologize for this, and we may not can be on every week, but we're going to try to get back more on a consistent basis. We got Jeff Mayfield in the house tonight, and we caught him on break. DOT's got him shut down probably. Hey, so glad to have y'all back. We have a special guest with us tonight, Joey Middleton. Some of y'all may know him. Joey, I want you to introduce yourself to him and tell him a little bit about you.
I'm Joey. We run a nonprofit organization out of Western Kentucky. We've done all kinds of things, as most of y'all know, but we've really kind of centered our focus on doing some charity tournaments in the catfishing community. We just got done finishing up one for Isaac Lanham, Isaac Strong tournament, but you know, we're trying to do a little something different in the catfishing community. You know, we're not huge into the fishing side of it, but we love to watch it, and we've always loved the tournament. So we said, you know what, why not go out there and have some of these tournaments for some, you know, to raise some funds for some families that are in our community. You know, we all love to donate and do charity, and, you know, some of these charities are great, the big organizations, but, you know, I feel like sometimes that we forget about some of the ones that we can actually touch with our hands that are in our own communities. You know, we get opportunities to help them. That's a great day. So,
Joey, what's the name of your Facebook page or your tournament thing that you do?
It's the BKPC Nation Charity Tournament Trail. Stacey, we run pretty much every.
BKPC.
Sorry. Yes, sir. And we run everything pretty much through our Facebook page for BKPC Nation. So.
Yes, sir. Now, what is BKPC Nation? What's it about, Joey? Is there a certain thing that y'all do? Just give people a rundown on that.
We've done all kinds of stuff, Stacey. But no, we started it a few years ago. Just kind of give the little guy a place to go and share pictures and, you know, to feel involved. And, you know, because, you know, you get into some of these groups and stuff, and, you know, some guys are new, and it can be a little intimidating. You know, they see all these big fish, and, you know, they see all these, you know, people that they see on the YouTubes and in all these big tournaments. So it can get kind of, you know, overwhelming sometimes. So we just wanted to have a place for the little guys to go, you know, whether you catch a 2-pound channel cat or, you know, a 4-pound bass, and, you know, just kind of build each other up, you know, more about the positive side of it than competition or anything of that nature.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And guys, we also got in tonight. I don't know if I'm going to give him a chance. Chad, we got Chad Bryant with us. Chad, tell him, just introduce yourself to the new crowd that's probably in here, man. Let them know who you are.
Just Chad Bryant, man. I'm just here to watch the chat and answer the questions, baby.
And guys, we tried to get I tried to get Aaron Churchwell with us tonight. I don't know where he's at. I can't get in touch with him. He's dodging our phone calls. But Joey Kirby was gonna be back with us tonight, but he had also called and he was back playing softball tonight. But he told me he will be back. We got Tiffany McAnally in the house here with us, Chad Badgett.
Hey, Isaac's in here watching the live feed. Isaac's in here.
Hold on. I missed him. There he is, right there. Look right there. He said, "Of course, I am."
Tell him, Isaac, you were born ready, brother. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Guys, we're so glad to have you back in. We're going to try to set up some things here in the next couple of weeks and try to get things back rolling. We're getting into the winter months and it gets dark here in the afternoon, give you a little bit of entertainment. There was a Chad, if y'all got any questions as we're going through stuff, I want y'all to feel free to pop that in there. Guys, I really encourage you to ask questions. There's some stuff that you have in mind, stuff that you want to know about. I really encourage you to ask some questions as we do our show. I want you to get involved with what's going on. And we're going to try, I know for the last year, if you hadn't learned the tips and techniques on how to catch some catfish, it's because you just hadn't been tuned in with us. I'm going to also try to cover some stuff in the next couple of weeks or as we go on, try to share some stuff with some tournament directors and get them in here, give y'all a chance to talk to them. Maybe it's some questions you would like to ask and just some information on it. One of the things that Joey brought up here, the things that he's doing, because I don't know about you, Chad, but I know it is for me. When you first go fish your first tournament, and if you happen to go, your first one happens to be the Winter Blues on Wheeler, it can be really intimidating. Or go to fish the Mississippi River Monsters. If you've never done this, it can be really intimidating by going out. I want to tell you the things that Joey's doing, setting up a small tournaments like this right here, gives you a chance to get your feet wet, gives you a chance to get to know people. And you're going to find out, man, just as you're fishing tournaments, you're going to feel a welcomeness from the majority of the people. Everybody's open armed and wanting to help you. So don't let that right there hold you back from pursuing a dream that you have if this is what you want to do. And I remind myself all the time, Chad, it's hard to win a tournament if you ain't fishing it.
Yeah, that's right. I hadn't won a one yet that I hadn't fished in.
And I say that because a lot of people make comments that I'd love to fish with them. I'm just so nervous and scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, hey, you just got to get started, get your feet wet like anything else, and just go with it.
And if you're not out there just having fun, why do it? Just go out there and have a good time.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think me and you talked about this, Chad. I have fished with some people, and one of the things that I do, and I'm learning some more and more because fishing, just out fun fishing sometimes is different than tournament fishing. If you're not careful, you find yourself, and I've been with people who just panic. When you ain't caught a fish within the first 30 minutes, they just panic. And you just got to go out, have a good time, and do what you do. There's going to be some times, I know me and Chad both, hey, they come way in time, we ain't got no fish. So that doesn't stop me from doing what I'm doing. Just continue to push through. And on days that when you're fishing, try to listen out to what these other guys are doing. Try to listen out to what they've done, what tips and techniques, and you'll start to put together some patterns, hey, that's going to make you a better fisherman. Tournament fishing is different than fun fishing, Chad.
Yeah.
You got 8 hours to catch him, and you got to catch him from 7 to 3.
You know? During the conditions that are present that day.
Yes, sir.
At tournaments,
I want to get into something here this afternoon. We've got a lot of people in chat. I think I told you a while ago, we got, I think I seen Doug in here too, along with Tiffany. Guys, good to see y'all this past week. we got Joey Middleton with us, and I want to give him a chance. This past weekend, he put on and he done a lot of work. I've never put on a tournament. I've been asked to do it, and I'm like, hey, that is a lot of work right there.
That's a pile of work.
And
It is.
it ain't just showing up. You know, it's showing up 30 minutes before the tournament starts and leaving when it's over. I mean, it's a lot of work preparation. You put on a benefit tournament this weekend, and Isaac is in the house with us here. I want you to tell a little bit about what the tournament was about with Isaac, what went on with him, you know, who he is, and what was done on this tournament.
Yes, sir. You know, just to kind of touch real quick, Stacey, on your comment about, you know, how difficult it is to run a tournament. I definitely highly suggest if anybody ever considers running a tournament or doing any kind of a trail, get out and go to a couple and help out from start to finish. It'll change your mind. But Isaac, about a year and a half ago, Stacey, Charles Crook from Meat Hunters gave me a call and said that he had a good friend of his, little buddy of his, Isaac, that was going through some hard times and, you know, had got that horrible news, that horrible diagnosis. And he asked me, you know, he said, you know, I know that you do a little bit of fundraising and stuff like that. So he wanted to know if maybe we could do something to kind of help him out at the moment. So, of course, you know, I love doing that stuff. I said, let's do it. So we did some and, you know, just developed a relationship with Alex, Isaac's dad. And it became so much more than just one little fundraiser to try to help somebody out. It became, you know, they became family. And at that point, it became a mission. You know, I had family members that were in need, you know, and it was time to step up. And then I also knew that I had a catfishing family that would more than likely get behind me and help. So, you know, we started working on it and planning it and got it all together. And, you know, no matter how much work you put into something, you just never know how it's going to turn out. So we started, you know, collecting things for raffles and stuff like that. And we had some great people reach out. And, you know, it's hard for me to thank everybody because there's so many. And I'm afraid I'm going to forget somebody because, I mean, even the person that just shares our post, you know, they're huge. That's a huge help. But I do want to give one special thanks. And I want to do that to Brian St. Amma. He actually flew Isaac and Alex in for the weekend. I never thought it was going to get to that point. You know, I thought we were going to do a tournament, raise a little bit of money, but it ended up being an experience for the kid. You know, we got to get him and Alex down in Alabama, beautiful country, real nice place, and just kind of see what it was all about. You know, Alex would message me and give me updates, and Isaac would have good days. He'd have bad days. You know, we just, you know, prayed that, you know, every day would get a little better and that, you know, he'd be able to fight off the bad days. And man, that kid's fight is, it's something. I mean, it truly is. The whole family's, you know, I didn't really know a lot about the rest of the family until I got the chance to spend a weekend with them. And man, let me tell you what, I went down there to help them. They saved me. I mean, it's just crazy how that works. You know, it's crazy how God puts people together in, you know, situations to kind of heal each other. You know, I've got my own story with cancer. Went through a battle about 6 years ago, and, you know, it was personal. And especially, you know, when you see it with a kid. So we get him down here, and let me tell you, did the catfishing community shine? Brother, we had people that were coming up, you know, shaking his hand, people, you know, but they never treated him like anything other than a kid. You know, it wasn't about the sickness. It wasn't about nothing but coming down and having a good time. And that was special. You know, we had the Rat Pack, Jared Tempest, and he's going to shoot me for this, but River Rats, man, let me tell you, the Rat Pack, they're strong. I mean, we had a line, Stacey, going out the cabin door. I think you were there for it.
Yes, sir.
Just people bringing in rods, jerseys, you know, just amazing. You know, I get choked up talking about it, but man, it was something to experience.
Yeah. Hey, tell the listeners, tell the people that's in here watching, how much money was raised for him?
We were able to raise $7,000 cash, and I would say Alex would probably attest. We probably had that or cargo van loaded down. I mean, they left with so much. Alex and Ashley looked at us and just like, y'all, just too much. You know, where are we going to put it all? Thank goodness she brought the big van because it wouldn't have fit in a regular car.
Oh, hey,
the conditions were pretty rough that morning. I mean, I think that probably
woke up at 4 o'clock and it was muggy and rainy and just windy, and I was like, man, here we go. But you know what? People showed up with a smile on their face, ready to go. And, you know, that's what the catfish community does. You know, we all kind of get wrapped up in some of the other stuff outside of it. But when it comes down to it, we got each other's back. That's for sure.
And I'll tell you, if you've never experienced one of these charity tournaments, just go do one.
Oh,
yes.
If you want to renew your faith in the human race, go fish a charity tournament.
Yeah, come out to one of our future ones. Absolutely. Come fish them all. I'll show you what it's all about. But it is. I mean, it's amazing, Chad. It's just the people that just selfless, you know, just acts.
Hey, I want to think it was last year, Tackle 22.
Yeah, we did that at the start of the year.
One I fished as far as a charity tournament. And that day when I left, I said, you know what? This is just fun. I was relaxed, and I'm like, hey, we just out here having a good time. What we done is going to a good cause, and everybody was. I'm telling you, if you want to fish something that's fun, get involved in one of these charity tournaments, and you will love it. Win, lose, or draw, you will love it.
And you know, Stacey, there's a lot of them out there that I think a lot of people don't even know about because they don't really get the publicity, you know, as these other bigger tournaments and stuff like that. But you know, if you see some of these local little charity tournaments, you know, help share the stuff, man, because those tournaments help people. You know, what a lot of people don't realize, sometimes even if you just raise a couple $100, that's groceries for somebody for a week. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's huge.
There's no losers in a charity tournament.
No, sir, none whatsoever. And there's no failing at it, because if you raise $5, that's $5 more than you had when you started.
Yeah. And I do want to Tackle 22 here give a shout out to Josh Brown. He was the one who won the tournament, and he donated 100% of what he won back to this. Ain't that correct?
Yes, sir, he did. Wouldn't even hold the cash in the envelope. He just said, put it right back where it goes.
Yeah. That right there is great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yes, sir. And I don't
Stacey,
know, some of the other
mention,
people who won might have done the same thing, and we appreciate I mean, I know you do.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about it is there was a lot going on behind the scenes that people didn't do for any attention. And, you know, I mean, there was a lot of very, very good things done this weekend that didn't get mentioned or didn't get seen because they did it out of the kindness of their heart, not for the attention of it.
Yes, sir. And I want to, reinforce the Rat Pack, Jarrett Tempest. Every time you at a benefit tournament, he's always there doing everything he can. I've been at 2 of them, and man, he's always there doing everything he can.
That man, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do them because I didn't know nothing about these tournaments coming in. You know, I've watched them on YouTube and here on Facebook, and went to a couple weigh-ins, but I had no idea. But let me tell you, Garrett was right there, and he's been right there since. So we got a lot more coming up, and we're excited about
Yes.
it.
Chad, what you see in chat?
Man, it's just a whole lot of people saying get out and do these. They're a good time. All it takes is meeting one person for a connection. Everybody will come together.
Hey, Chad, can I talk on that?
Yes, sir.
That's the greatest comment ever. All it takes is for one person to share and somebody on their timeline to see and say, hey, you know what? I've been wanting to bless somebody. And I tell you guys, that's how that's how lives are changed. You know, we can share and share and share and share, and it just turns into, oh, well, you know, he's doing another tournament. But, you know, you get people that, you know, just share it, and one of their friends, you know, you don't know who's watching. What you're doing at that moment might be something that's really near and dear to their heart. And they may come in and, you know, give a blessing that, you know, nobody else could. So, you know, that's the thing, guys. It don't take but a second to share these events. You know, I mean, it really don't. And that plays a bigger impact than anybody could ever imagine.
Yeah. Chad, I gotta say this, Chad. I seen Marcus put something on here a while ago, and he says that you taught him everything he knows.
Don't blame that on me.
He said he always comes in behind you on the tournaments. He said something ain't right.
Don't blame that on me. Don't put that on me.
I think what he was saying is you didn't share everything with him.
All I can do is the best I got to do with, man.
Oh Lord!
But you know, I mean, Joey, you deserve a lot of credit for this, man. I know there is no telling how many hours you worked on this stuff, how much goes in behind the scenes to putting something like that together. You're a blessing, man.
I appreciate that, Chad. But I mean, when I say this, I'm honest about it. I'm just a vessel. You know, I'm blessed with my life the way it is that I can put the time and the, you know, stuff like that into it. But without the people that come to the tournaments and support them, you know, guys like Stacey, who's always there, guys like you, Chad. I mean, all it would be is just me on Facebook. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm blessed to have the time to be able to put into it. But without you guys, I mean, we're nothing. You know, y'all are the real heroes. I enjoy doing this stuff. You know, God's blessed me in ways in the last few years that I can't even start to tell. So this is what I'm supposed to be doing to return those blessings.
Hey, Alex is in with us tonight also, and he give a shout out here. He wants to thank everyone. Alex, it was great meeting you. Alex is the dad of Isaac. Great seeing you there, man.
Alex, if we tried to thank everybody, brother, we'd have to do like 4 weekly shows to get it done. I bet your fingers are about as tired as mine from trying to thank everybody.
You know, that's where the catfish community needs to go. We need to get away from some of the drama and stuff that's in some of this mess. I don't care whose rod you use. It don't matter. This is the stuff that matters.
Yeah. That's amen.
Hey,
because, you know, at the end of the day, it don't matter about that rod.
Yeah. While I'm here, I want to make sure I make mention of this. Edmund Crowder now is a group that is putting on a Christmas for Kids tournament. I want to thank, I may be wrong about this, but I think it's November the 6th.
It is at Ingalls Harbor.
And that'll be at Ingalls Harbor. That's their indicator. So y'all can look up Edmund, find some stuff right there on it. I see a lot of stuff being shared the last couple of days. This right here is for some for Christmas for kids. So guys, if you're looking for something to support, there's your one right there.
Hey, Stacey.
Yes, sir.
I know at that event, I know Edmund donates every bit of the money that's raised off of bait sales. And you know, I also wanted to say, you know, Edmund's been at both of our tournaments, and he's always donated at least half of all bait sales right back to the cause. So, you know, go out there and support Edmund. Edmund's a good old dude out there, you know, doing a lot for a lot of people. So,
yes, sir. Let me. Hey, I did see something early on fishing, Chad, and I think it was Chad Vice who asked the question: when dragging baits, what do we prefer, mono versus over braid?
I run mono exclusively unless I'm bumping baits.
Yeah,
and I know you're about the same way.
Yeah, I am a mono guy. The only time I go to braid is when I need something that's really sensitive. I can feel everything that's going on, and you can do that with that braid. I just like the mono. It's my preference. It's what I like, and I use it for if I'm dragging baits, if I'm suspended, if I'm anchored, whatever I'm doing. I got 40-pound mono and 80 or 100-pound leader on there.
Leader line. I'm set up the same way. I used to fish a lot below dams when I was growing up and kind of learning how to fish. And braid and rocks do not mix at all.
No, that they don't. And I would share with anybody that braid does fray up. If it rubs against a rock or something,
it'll snap it like
it's some strong stuff, guys. It is some strong stuff. If it ain't frayed or ain't around something, it's very hard to break. And I tell people, it's just whatever your preference is, whichever one you like. I like the mono because it got that stretch in it.
Little stretch to it.
I feel like I got him on a bungee cord.
The reasons I don't fish with braid is it'll cut down in your reel a little bit if you got your drag a little bit too tight. If you ever backlash it, oh my goodness, trying to dig that thing out is awful. Hey,
Chad, backlashing it and just getting it tangled up was enough for me to go back to the mono. I'm like, it's so good, it makes a mess, man. I'm like, just get the pocket knife out and cut the stuff.
Could you imagine if you had 4 or 5 lines back there that all got tangled up at one time while you was dragging baits and had a fish run across them?
I just cut them.
Cut them and go home.
But there are advantages to it, but it's not what I like to use.
Yeah, there is, and there is some advantages. There's some advantages and disadvantages to both of them, and so I just got my confidence. I got a lot of confidence in that mono. Is there any? There was another thing I thought was sort of funny. Hey, Robert Thomas is in the house. This is the first I seen. He might have been in here earlier. This is the first I've seen him. I'm trying to keep up with it. Robert, man, it was good to see you this weekend. And Robert has some big stuff coming down the pipe for tournament fishing. So, Robert, we're glad to see you, man, and glad to have you in here. And it was so good to see you this weekend. I tell you, somebody else who was there this weekend, he made a long journey, and that right there was Jeff Miller from RS Nets. I want to give a shout out to him also.
Absolutely.
And Dale Dunaway was there too from Dale's Tackle.
He was, and these guys drove a good little ways to get there. Let me see what this right here is.
Hey, Adam Isaacs said, can we throw out there that there's a Fishing for Finn event this Saturday? They can message him or go to the Clinton Lake Catfish Tournament Series.
Adam Isaacs is a great guy, too. He does a lot for a lot of people in the catfishing community, so he supports a lot of people. He's a good guy.
Hey, Chad, I got to put this up here, and you got to read it. I mean, y'all got to read this here because you're going to laugh. And if anybody knows Tiffany, I'm telling you, she's a mess. She says, I'm pretty dang good at fixing bird nests. Doug makes plenty of messes for me to clean up all the time. One of the questions was, Marcus put on here, do you guys change the buoyancy of your floats dragging or add more weight in heavier current? This is what I do. Once current gets, I'm not a fan of.
If I've got to put over a 4 ounce on it, I ain't dragging baits.
Yeah. What'd you say, Chad?
If I got to put more than 4 ounces of weight on it to drag it, I ain't dragging it.
Yeah.
Because your trolling motor, our trolling motor is not going to last us, but about 2 hours doing that.
Yeah. And that's been my rule of thumb. I've got 3 and 4 ounces of weight. Once I'm dragging baits, I want to, if it's current gets too much for that. And guys, I'm going to tell you a secret. When you're out there dragging baits and your rod tips ain't moving much, they just stay dead still. And there's a lot of current. Your bait's done and your stuff is done come up off the bottom. And it may be as much as 10 feet off the bottom. I want to see my rod sitting there working, knowing my line is on the bottom. So once I'm about like Chad, if 4 ounces won't hold it, it's time to go do something different.
I'll like her up.
Yeah. And I want to say this when I get a chance, and I'm going to have him on our program in a couple of weeks. One of the things, man, that I have been wanting to learn how to do. And that right there was that walking baits on the Mississippi River while your boat is also moving back. And I happened to be over the other day when we was at the MRM, and a guy by the name of Danny Huffman. I don't know if y'all know him or not. He come over and seen me. We was anchored down fishing, and he come over there to see me, just wanted to holler at me and talk to me for a minute. And he sit there and begged me. He says, I know you just don't know how to do no walking these baits or nothing. You're an anchor fisherman and you drag baits. And I said, man, I've been wanting somebody to teach me. I said, just ain't never had nobody, to do it, And he begged me to get on the boat with him. And I said, no, man, I ain't going to do that. And I hate to embarge on people. And about the third time, he says, I'm getting on the boat with me, and I'm going to go out here and show you. And Michael Hughey was with me, and we was anchored down. I said, Michael, you don't care. I said, give me 30 minutes. I'll be right back. And I jumped on the boat with Danny Huffman, and we went out, and I asked him 101 questions. He probably felt like he was on Jeopardy. But we wasn't there 15 minutes, and I caught one about 10 or 15 pounds. And man, I just felt so much confidence that, hey, I just caught a fish doing something I didn't know how to do. And then within the next 30 minutes, I landed one, I think it was 47, 48 pounds. And I'm like, man, I am burnt now. And what I was going to get at is that was one of the techniques I've been wanting to learn how to use. And Chad probably knows as well as anybody. He fished a lot of tournaments. You fish in tournaments and you fish in different bodies of water. You need to know about every technique that you possibly can, because there may be some times you need to use it.
Yeah. I feel like to be competitive in tournament fishing, you need to know how to do it all. Because there's going to come a time when you that tactic pays off more so than the other.
And I want to share one other thing on that dragging baits. And this is something that I have went back to on some that I went back to using some peg floats. I've got some that's big peg floats like what's on the Kirby rig. If I've got some big baits I want to float, and I've got just some big peg floats. And I'm using about a 4-foot leader, which is what I was using anyway. But what I do with that peg float, what I like about it, if we caught some fish, I have my peg floats at different lengths from my hook. The closer you get your peg float to the hook, the higher it's going to float your bait off the bottom. The more you move it back towards your lead, the lower your bait's going to start to drop down. And what we done Saturday, as soon as we caught a fish, I noticed Joey caught one, and that fish, he must have been buried in the mud. Yeah. And the first thing I done, I run all my peg floats back at least halfway because I wanted my baits closer to the bottom. And guys, little things like that can make a difference on the end of a day, because when them fish is buried up in that mud, they are slow to catch. And you need to get every advantage you can. Get that bait sitting down closer to the bottom, and it'll help you out.
Yeah, Marty Bardo asked that question. Do y'all have a leader length preference for dragging when the water gets below 55 degrees? And I like Stacey says, you can move that peg float, and you can accomplish that. You can get that bait up or down.
Yeah. And it seems like it just gives you a little bit more. You can present it in several different ways, and it goes back to that other thing. If I'm fishing with 3 or 4 rods, I'm going to have them. If I'm dragging baits, then my floats is going to be set up at different lengths on each one of them until I can establish a pattern. And I pull a fish in a boat, and he's got mud all over him. Every one of mine, I'm fixing to move that float back and get that bait closer to the bottom.
Stacey, I believe you and I were talking about it the day we fished MRM. You noticed it, and I did too, that the first few fish we caught were in that mud, and you shortened your leaders, and I did mine as well.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was fishing a drop leader on my lead, and I took it off and clipped it straight to the swivel.
Yeah, and now, and me and you done the same thing because I think it was later that day you told me, or that next day me and you was talking. I had about a 1 foot drop off of my swivel to my weight.
Yes.
And the first fish I caught, he was real muddy, and the first thing that tells me that fish is down on the bottom. And the first thing I done is I took that little drop line off and I tied my weight, fastened my weight straight to my swivel to get my bait even down further to that bottom.
Yes.
And things like that, I feel like it makes a difference. Joey, what else you got, man?
Brother, I'm a man of few words. I hate the spotlight. I do have one more thing, Stacey. We do have our Back to Blue tournament coming up November 20th. It's going to be in Rogersville. It's for Alabama COPS, which is the Concerns of Police Survivors. One thing I'd like to ask the community, if you guys know of any families that are, survivors of officers that have fallen during, in the line of duty, get in contact with me. We have a sponsor that's offered up some rooms for the weekend to get those families down there. The Rat Pack has come through and they've got boats ready to get some, these people on the boats with them for the tournament. And I'd love to get them down there. I know it's November. I'm not real sure how the weather is, that time of year down with you guys, but the more we could get out, the better. We have, I think, the opportunity to put up at least 20. So if anybody knows of any families, I'd like to see some kids. We really want to get the youth involved. If you know of a family that, maybe a son or daughter's struggling a little bit with the loss of a parent, and this might help them, get in contact with me. We'd love to get them down there. We'll feed you and put you up in a hotel and, get you out on the water with some good people and, maybe help out a little bit on, that side of it.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you popped that up, Stacey. Do you know of an angler that is more consistent dragging baits on Wheeler Lake than Wayne Reed?
Hey, there's two people I know. There's two guys, and they happen to be good buddies, that's really good at dragging baits. Wayne Reed and Robin East.
Yeah.
That's what they're gonna be doing, They're good at it.
And when they pull up to the boat ramp, you better not get too cocky to lay open their lid.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And I think Saturday, I love to drag baits. One of the things that had deterred me from dragging baits, and it could not have been nothing to it. Everybody told me how much grass was on the lower end of Gunnersville, and I'm like, well, I ain't going in there and fight with that grass all day. And I told Joey, me and Joey Kirby fished it, and that cold front was coming in. I says, they got current up in this river, and I'm telling you, I love to anchor fish. And I told Joey, I said, Joey, this cold front's coming. I think they're going to be buried down and holding tight to some structure. I said, we're going to go up there, and we're going to hit every top we run across. Hey, one guy just put this. Where was it at? Let me see if I can. And I want to go back and I want to say this. Bobby Boucher, patience is the key to fishing. And I'm gonna tell you, that is a big thing. Yeah, because if you don't have it, you probably ain't gonna do very good at it.
That's the wrong sport.
It takes some patience. It sure does.
Somebody posted up in here and said, do catfish slow down feeding in the colder months? They don't usually get to fish in the cold months, but just curious. Yes, they get lethargic. They don't move as fast. If you're dragging baits in the wintertime, you better slow the boat down just a little bit.
Yeah. Chad, when we first started, I dragged baits all winter. And I think on this program, somebody asked a question, and I seen somebody talk about, do y'all stop dragging bait? I said, I never stop. I drag baits all winter. The only thing I do different is I really slow my boat down a lot. I mean, sometimes 0.2, but yeah. I feel more confident if I'm moving and covering territory where there's fish at. than just sitting anchored in one spot with very little current. I just really don't like to fish with anchor with very little current. I want some current enough to hold my boat and stuff straight. So, and like Wang said, you got to know when to switch over from one to other. You know. Yeah.
I was kind of like you. I like to anchor fish. That's kind of how we learned and we started fishing. So anchor fishing's comfortable for me. So when things get tough, I'm gonna fish off the rope.
Hey, Robert Thomas said he didn't know there was any other way but drag. Hey, and Wang and Robin East probably think the same thing. Yeah. I don't know if
I like fishing off the rope though. That just kind of takes me back to how I learned how to fish.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Which I just try to be versatile, and I like it all. You know,
there's a lot to it. There's a lot more styles in catfishing than what people think. It blows my mind all the different ways. I'm an old bank boy. I'm used to sitting on a riverbank with the fire and throwing it out there and just hoping that something's close to it. But there's a lot of styles to the catfishing.
You know, Stacey, let me ask you this. This is something that I love. When I throw mine out and I'm fishing on the rope, I love to see that bait when it starts rolling a little bit and that rod start bouncing. What's your thoughts on that right there?
And you know what I do? And some people is totally different than this. Some people want it when they throw that rod out, they want that bait to stay at a. I always throw my rods out to the middle, and I may throw the first one out right behind the boat to make sure it ain't tangled, but I want that current to start pulling that thing around, and I'm like, that bait when it stops, it's gonna stop in a hole, and that's what I'm always looking for, Chad. I don't know what everybody else is doing, but I'm like, hey, when that bait comes around, when it finds that path of least resistance, it's gonna stop right there. And that's what I wanted at.
It's going to find that sweet spot.
It's going to find that sweet spot. Just let that bait, that lead will find that sweet spot. And I tell you something else, and some people do it now. I just got this bumping rod, and if I'm fishing with one right behind the boat, I took that bumping rod the other day and took it out, threw it back, and I just let it. As soon as it fell in a hole where I didn't fit up in it, I locked it down. I said I want it sitting right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're fishing on a ledge and you're on top of that ledge and you just throw it out to the middle, it's going to come around and get and stop right up against that ledge. And that's where you want it at. That's where I want mine at. Yeah.
I always think as long as that bait's rolling and bouncing off bottom, it ain't going to be long till it rolls in front of a fish and he's going to grab it.
Hey, you're exactly right. Hey, Andy.
Wayne Reed said after about an hour of fishing on the rope, he's ready to hang himself with it.
Andy Warrick put on here, Stacey Gaston, it's about time. It's about to be that time for them Christmas tree cakes. That's them little Debbie Christmas trees, man. Hey, you go fishing, you got to get you a box of them.
I got to stay away from them. I found about 3 extra chins when I shaved my beard this weekend.
Tell us a little bit about tell everybody a little bit about that, Joey.
Well, Chad, it started out, I'd set a goal for $10,000 to raise for Isaac. And I said that if we could raise $10,000, I'd let him shave my beard. Well, the more I thought about it, I kind of use that beard as a kind of a blocker for myself, for, my own personal issues. I said, you know what, it's time to let go. So little buddy got to cut it off, and I got to looking, I was like, ooh, Lord, who is that guy there? But it was for a great cause. And like I said, it was kind of liberating for me, this whole weekend was. So it was kind of almost like more of a healing process for me, I think, than maybe, anything that Isaac could have probably experienced with it. So I feel different, but it's like a new chapter is getting ready to start. So y'all better watch out. Y'all thought I was bad before. Here I come.
Oh.
Yeah, Isaac, you're about cut my team.
I don't know what a battle rattle is. I don't know if that's some type of demon dragon type thing.
What they say, Chad?
What's your opinion on the battle rattle versus boat floats? I don't know what a battle rattle is. I haven't seen that.
Well, when we're fishing, I don't usually fish with rattles, but now Joey fishes with rattles. And I will tell you this: I'm pretty fast learner now. I'll be watching.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let him catch many fish. I'll be over in his tackle box, grab me a couple of them rattles. And I say sometimes, sometimes it works. Sometimes I've caught more without them, and sometimes I've caught them on the when I used to fish with them demon dragons and rattles and stuff. I just went back to basic. If I'm anchor fishing, I have no floats on. I've got a leader line, probably 18 inches long, 18 inches long, and a swivel and a piece of lead. That's all I have when I'm anchor fishing, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
Everybody has different preferences.
If I was anchoring in a place with no current, which I don't ever do, I would put a float on to keep it up out of the mud.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just real simple. A hook, a lead, a swivel, And I do rig mine most of the time. Carolina rig. I'll put a sinker slide on, especially if I'm flathead fishing or something like that.
And and Joey's the totally opposite from me. Joey's got floats on everything that he fishes with. I don't do that. Now, there is time, I will tell you this. There's times that he smokes me. But if we're fishing a tournament, I really don't, it's really, really good that your partner don't fish just like you.
Yeah. Right.
Because if me and him set up totally different, if he ever catches 2 fish or 3 fish, I feel like we've got a pattern in, and I'm like, hey, how you got that rigged up? Because I'm fishing back in my box, and I'm going to put my stuff just like him. And if I do the same thing, I'm going to tell him, hey, man, you need to get them floats off of there. You need to do this. This is what I caught every one of them on. And then we just all go to that, trying to increase our odds. Now, we don't change up just because we caught 1 fish. But once we see that we caught 2 or 3 on one particular way or rig, then I'm like, hey, you ain't gonna catch another one without me changing my stuff over, because we want to make sure we are increasing our chances of catching fish. And once we establish a pattern, that's what we're going with.
Yeah, and I try to fish with different size baits, different size leader lines, just kind of mix it up out there. And man, I've been fishing sometimes and one rod will get bit 3 to 1 more than anybody else. Yeah. You can have it rigged the same way, and I can't explain it.
Hey, Chad, I've yet to figure that out. I've yet to figure it out.
So maybe the rod really does count.
I don't know it, but I'm telling you, you can be fishing all day, and you can be in the boat by yourself and have 6 rods out and catch every fish on that one rod. Yeah. And I'm like, I just don't know why in the world. I know that fish can't see that rod up here in my boat.
What a lot of people are commenting on those rattles and stuff, and one of the biggest reasons I don't use them is because, man, if you break one of those and a hook and a piece of lead off, there went $10.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to tell Joey, once we had one of them demon dragons tied on and we got hung up. I said, Joey, I might have to go in after that one. That thing was $5. You turn around and look at your depth finder and say, how deep is it?
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh. Well, hey, guys, I want to share this, and I'm going to get ready to shut down here. I want to appreciate everybody for coming in and tuning in with us. We had hey, and I'm going to say this before and Charles Crook, you are right. It's something about them pink rods. I don't know what it is, but it's something about them. We're glad to be back tonight. I may try to set up next week. I don't know if they're in here with us tonight. Adam Wright the guy who's over the Heart of Dixie Trail. Ain't that right, Chad?
Yes, Adam Michael Wright.
And Lord of mercy, done Alabama Catfish Series. Lord, my mind done went blank right here. They're going to have, what is it?
I don't know who does that runs that trail.
They're going to have a big tournament together up on Lay Lake here in the next weekend. May try to get them on here and talk a little bit about what they're doing just to get started with. But guys, we're glad to have y'all back in here. We're glad to be back on tonight.
Marshall Hughey.
Yeah. What?
Marshall Hughey.
That's him. That's it. Yeah. Joey, you got anything you want to say before we jump off of here tonight?
No, Stacey, I just, thank you to everybody that's, supported us through this. We're not quite there yet. We make mistakes like me and you talked about this morning. I made a couple this weekend and everybody was real nice to me and I appreciate it. Everybody was easy on me, but thanks for everybody's support and let's all just keep working together and see what we can't do going forward in the future.
Yeah.
And I won't make those same mistakes twice, I promise you that.
Yeah, Marshall Hughey and Michael does he go by Michael Wright or Adam? Adam Wright. They're going to Adam Wright with the Heart of Dixie. Marshall Hughey with Alabama Catfish Series is going to be on Lay Lake November the 30th. So may try to get them on here, tell a little bit about what they got and what's going to go on there with that. Chad, you get
that's October 30th, wasn't it, Stacey?
What did I say?
November.
Yeah, October the 30th. I'm telling you, my mind gets to running.
Hey, I know. I'm surprised I caught it.
Yeah, October the 30th. Chad, you got anything else you want to add, man, before we jump off of here?
I just want to say thank you to everybody that came out and fished that tournament Saturday.
Yes,
it was great seeing everybody. Had a great time. We were fortunate enough to take third in that tournament. But had a good time fishing it, hanging out with everybody, seeing everybody, and it'll renew your faith in humanity if you come out and fish a couple of these type deals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Guys, we will see y'all next week. We'll be right back here. Our plans are to be right back here next Tuesday night, same time at 7 o'clock, and we're going to be talking catfishing. May try to line up Danny Huffman, who went out and taught me how to do a little back walking baits down in Mississippi. May see if I can get him on here, talk a little bit about that. I want to give also a shout out to Charles Crook. I got the Boss Hog, and I was able to fish the Mississippi River monsters with that rod. I'd never bumped before. I had a bass rod I had bought for bumping, and that was the rod I was using that Friday. And I said, well, I need to go ahead and switch over because I didn't really have I could feel the bottom really good with it. But my fear was, what if I hang into a 90-pound fish with this rod? Is it going to be able to handle him, And that's what I was thinking. And I really thought to my mind, I said, there's no way that Boss Hog is more sensitive than the rod I got in my hand. And I can feel the bottom so good with it. But I was scared that I was going to get into a big fish and wouldn't be able to do anything with him. So I switched over to the Boss Hog, and I got it and got to going with it. And I told Michael Hilliard, the guy that was fishing with me, I said, I can feel the bottom better with this thing than I could with that bass rod I had. And I said, so I want to tell y'all guys, if you're looking for a rod to walk baits with, to do some back bouncing, look up the Boss Hog. I got the heavy action. I love it. And I promise you this, with that rod right there, whatever fish you hang into, the rod is going to be able to bring him to the boat. That won't be the problem. And you will not be disappointed in that Boss Hog heavy action. I don't know about the rest of them, but I love that rod. Guy, we're fixing to jump off of here. We will see y'all again next week here at the same time, 7 o'clock Central Time. And we look forward to seeing you then. God bless y'all.
Yeah, have a great
Thanks
night.
again, Stacey. Thanks, everybody.
Hang on just a second.